Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action, and today we're back with the Green Tide. Yes, indeed, the boys going to be taking on the Tomb Kings, so let's get straight to the builds here. For the Greenskins, we've got several groups of Black Orcs here in the woods. This is going to be Slate X playing them. We've also got some Savage Orc Boar Boys. It looks like SKARSNIK here, Night Goblin Shaman with the couple spells, Vindictive Glare, Itchy Nuisance, Gork'll Fix It. We've also got Hammer Gork and a Doom Diver Catapult, Force Goblin Spider Rider Archers, as well as some Warlords Boys, Nasty Skulkers, 8-Peak Loonies, and we've also got the Ragnarok Queen as well. For the Tomb Kings, a couple units of Carrion. Of course, KHATEP up on the Roomba, already popping off shots. And as soon as he casts a spell, he's got his staff here, so he can cancel out that Waaagh with that Lich Staff ability recharge. He's also got some Skeleton Spearmen, Skeleton Archers, a single Necrotect. We've got some Ushabti Great Bows moving up to fire here, some melee Ushabti as well. And looks like a Tomb Scorpion hidden over in the woods on the far side. So yeah, you can see the Catapult's going to be opening up shots on the Ushabti as they kind of trade fire here. The Rock Lobbers are actually not terrible at shooting Ushabti. I have a build I used some time ago, I want to say. Was it with Bretonia maybe? Or maybe it was with the Greenskins, just mass Rock Lobbers. But yeah, it can be effective, but certainly these Ushabti are going to have to pull back as the Spider comes over. Spider's also a pretty big target, could take some hits from them if they focus fire, but we'll see. Looks like the infantry moving forward, and the melee Ushabti also going to come try and pin down the Queen here. Meanwhile, in the back, the Carrion tried to come down and disrupt the Greenskin artillery, but unfortunately, Spider Rider, Skulkers, and other Goblins on station to continue to deal with that. The little Zapper here, Night Goblin Shaman, continuing to pop shots on Grand Hierophant KHATEP there. As soon as he goes back to hidden, he won't be able to be spotted. Nice little sniper character, honestly. But the Tomb Scorpion is making its way over and has spotted him, so he's going to have to be a bit careful there. Meanwhile, the Orc Boar Boys are making their way across the field, and you can see the Ragnarok Queen just taking a ton of heat here. The Bow Ushabti very close, obviously, but there's the Archers and other units in the back line currently being bogged down by some Spider Hatchlings, but still, a lot of damage being done to the Ragnarok Queen here. Although it is forcing this nice blob, you can see both the Greenskin artillery pieces firing into this pocket. That blind effect will be pretty brutal. Unfortunately, did it also hit the Queen? Looks like maybe it did there. Hard to tell. But Ragnarok Spiders, once they rout, I don't know if it's like a bug or something, but, well, they are obviously massive bugs. But they just get super fast, and it's actually going to just run for the hills there. You can see the 8-Peak Loonies fighting in the front line here. They are unbreakable, so they'll be able to stand and fight for some time. Meanwhile, Slate X is being very patient with the rest of his forces, keeping them back, protecting his artillery. He's got this Tomb Scorpion kind of threatening in the back line here, but he does have plenty of cavalry. These Skulkers can come in, drop a smoke bomb, and now SKARSNIK is leading up the line of Black Orcs here. The Queen ran all the way up and around the formation and actually regrouped right in front of this kind of group right here. You can see another Vindictive Glare goes down there and just about finishes off KHATEP. But nonetheless, the Ragnarok Queen going to fight a bit here. Obviously, these just regular Skeleton Warriors aren't too much of a threat. The Black Orcs are going to come clean things up here as well. Not a lot to threaten the Bow Ushabti, unfortunately, at this point, but they are mostly, looks like, going to be counter-firing the artillery, perhaps, or maybe switching over onto the Ragnarok Queen. Hard to say. There are a number of really good targets that they could shoot at, but the Skulkers able to do some good damage here, but at the same time, you know, leadership damage, and it does look like the Bow Ushabti are actually going to be focusing here, so probably will be able to terrify away these two units. Yep, looks like the leadership damage is enough to proc terror from the Tomb Scorpion, so a little bit unfortunate for the Greenskins there, but nonetheless, we do still have, let's see, is that the Warlords Boys who are immune to Psychology? They should be able to push their way forward, and they also have Armor Sundering as well. They are going to take some heat from those Bow Ushabti, but meanwhile over here, KHATEP dropping some Sandstorms. Another Vindictive Glare just about finishes him off. He's down to 526, but Ragnarok Queen still having its stats debuffed. I notice he's been just spamming that Incantation of Desiccation, which is very interesting. Not a spell you see too often, but Black Orcs obviously are just going to chew through this line without too much issue. Skeleton Warriors will only be able to do so much with just a hold. You can see the bow shop realizing they need to fire at this high-value group of Black Orcs here is going to be shooting in the side. They are doing quite a bit of damage here, but the leadership finisher should come. Nope, actually, KHATEP barely still alive. You can see the healing that he's received from that, let's see here, that Restless Dead having been very key keeping him alive in the late game here. You can see things aren't looking great for the Greenskins. Ragnarok Queen's going to get routed off here. The Black Orcs did manage to stabilize their leadership, but they still have a lot of skeletons to cut through. The bow shop still have plenty of ammo as well, but both the Greenskin artillery pieces still online and still have a decent amount of ammo left, firing at these Ushabti and various other units here. Spider Rider's going to pile in, try and interrupt the Great Bows, and for the first time, Waaagh being dropped across the board here. SKARSNIK having been in melee long enough to be able to recharge his Waaagh, now is here fighting the skeletons and the summoned Ushabti here. A little bit of a dangerous situation for SKARSNIK, but with his anti-large AP, he should be able to do okay against the Ushabti as long as his leadership doesn't give out. But the Scorpion, still having just been continuously bogged down by goblins and orcs up on this high ground area here, hasn't been able to escape, is now going to get dragged down, leaving these bow shopti a little bit exposed. They are getting a little bit low on ammo now at this point as well. We'll see, they should still have plenty left, but with the loss of leadership of KHATEP, I think he got finished off there. I don't see his, the ruins of his Roomba anywhere. Oh, there it is. Yep, poor KHATEP got finished off there. So the leadership is going to start to become an issue for the Tomb Kings, but you can see kind of my point to crumbling yesterday, for those of you guys who watched that video. All of these Tomb Kings troops that are crumbling are still generating a huge amount of value here, and this summoned Ushabti also is completely unbreakable, which again, I think that all summons should have leadership, or else that none should, but I more lean towards the all summons should have leadership, just to make things more consistent across the board. But you can see SKARSNIK still fighting here. We've also got a few Black Orcs. This one unit is almost completely healthy, but the other two units have been just about routed off. Looks like the Gabo Shaman going to be blasting Bow Shopti. It does some okay damage, but he's going to start to get blasted in return, which is obviously a little bit painful. The Tomb Scorpion having been crumbled away, these very tattered Gabos are going to try and make their way forward, finish off the Bow Shopti, but at this point, the loss of support units is really going to be tough. Once the infantry crumbles away and it's just Ushabti on the field, the Black Orcs should be able to get in there and get some good work done. Obviously, this very tattered unit just getting wrecked by this unit of Ushabti here, but at the same time, any swings that they do get on those Ushabti should do a decent amount of damage. Obviously, Black Orcs with their very high weapon strength can sort of get some hits in there, and this unit of Black Orcs in particular, almost completely healthy. It's going to be super tough for the Tomb Kings to take down in the late game. For the Night Goblin Shaman getting routed off here. Warlord's Boys, though, again, immune to psychology, do get in here with their armor sundering, bringing those Ushabti down to only 60 armor, so they can drag down a bit more of their HP. And the Skeleton Archer is also going to get compromised here as well. Obviously, Skeleton Archers won't be able to hold up too long here, but the side shots from the Chosen of the Gods might be able to finish off the leadership here, or it looks like they're maybe just coming in for a rear charge. But we'll fast forward a little bit through this late game, as there is going to be a bit of kiting around a bit from the Tomb Kings, which is obviously understandable. But the Night Goblin Shaman somehow still alive, still using those Vindictive Glares, and the Goblin crew of the artillery making their way forward here to rear charge these Skeleton Archers, as the Black Orcs just drag them down. That being said, the Black Orcs are going to get rear charged by the Ushabti here, so a lot of give and take. But you can see the little Zappa's still over there. He himself is now going to rear charge, and he actually does poison damage, so this isn't the worst idea in the world, although it is not maybe the best. He's going to get in here and apply his poison, debuffing the speed of those Ushabti a little bit there, allowing a couple more of them to get dragged down, perhaps, by the Black Orcs. Probably not actually at the end of the day, but nonetheless, you can see the balance power so heavily in the Greenskins' favor at this point, despite the fact their army is super tattered. Probably the rest of the Tomb Kings are just going to crumble away. Potentially. You can see, though, again, this unit of Bow Shopti that's still crumbling, able to still generate a huge amount of value because that rate of crumbling is just not very fast. Their HP is still quite high, so we'll continue to fast forward as that unit drops. And the Tomb Kings move closer and closer to army losses here. SKARSNIK himself, of course, still being alive at half HP. He's got anti-large AP. one last zap, and that'll be the end for the Tomb Kings. So, well played to both players. Hope you guys enjoyed watching that one. A very nice build from SladeX, and I have seen him using SKARSNIK a lot more recently, which is always nice to see. You know, SKARSNIK may not bring a whole lot of utility to the table, but if you cut all of his abilities, at the very least, he's relatively cheap and survivable compared to some of the other Greenskins lords. Likewise, the Vindictive Glare from the Gobbo Great Shaman, or the Gobbo Shaman for that matter, always going to be a good choice against the Tomb Kings, or most matchups right now, actually. Excuse me, but yeah, the artillery actually was the highlight for me. Both the Hammer of Gork and the Doom Diver doing very, very well at just doing a ton of damage to the skeleton infantry. They also did some good damage to the Shabti. You know, the consistent application of the blind effect as well from the Hammer of Gork definitely helps melee engagements. Only 71 kills on the Ragnarok Queen. Was a little bit of a magnet for fire there, but did end up getting some good work done at the end of the day, and obviously drawing the fire away from other high-value targets like the Black Orcs, SKARSNIK, or the artillery in and of itself can be relatively useful. Cavalry did enough in holding off the Tomb Scorpion and other units from getting at the artillery. The Carrion and so on were able to be held back. For the Tomb Kings, obviously the Bow Shabti did quite a bit of work, just not quite enough at the end of the day. The regular melee Shabti also got a ton of work done, just chopping up goblins, chopped up quite a few Black Orcs as well. Unfortunately, it just wasn't quite enough at the end of the day. SladeX just staying very patient, pushing his forces forward at the right moment after the, Bow Shabti were distracted and everything, so a little bit of change in targeting priority from the Tomb Kings maybe could have pulled things out here, but I also think that taking KHATEP on the Roomba is a little bit of a risk. I mean, obviously he can do some good damage, but only 29 kills really isn't too impactful. The extra magic recharge is nice, but I typically like to take KHATEP on the Chariot, for a couple of reasons. We'll go through that just real quick here. So if we go ahead and make a comparison, I mean, up on the Casket of Souls, he has 80 armor, which is not bad, but he's super slow. It really should not be in melee whatsoever. It does quite a bit of missile damage, but the accuracy is just not there. It's also relatively expensive compared to the Chariot, and you can see the Chariot actually gives you slightly more HP, puts you up to 95 armor, and then obviously you're going to be much, much faster. It also gives you anti-infantry in melee, so you know you can charge enemy infantry with that 75 charge bonus as well. You can do relatively well at running through enemy light infantry, and of course the extra mobility and survivability of the Chariot I think really makes it a superior pick to the Casket of Souls. Like in that battle, you see that Vindictive Glare template, the magic missile template, pop up on KHATEP. You just start running him side to side, you know, juking around, and perhaps you can dodge some of those missiles a little bit more effectively, and maybe not just take them directly to the face. Likewise, the extra armor and extra HP just helps him survive a little bit longer, and again, the anti-infantry will help him run over goblins and the like. So generally, I would recommend taking KHATEP on the Chariot over the Casket of Souls, but that's just my personal thoughts. Let me know yours down in the comments section below. If you guys do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.